Hey guys, welcome to my unfurnished bathroom. Can you tell that I am running out of places to film that are quiet? So recently I've been listening to a lot of music, and by music I do mean music by underscores. And it got me going down a bit of a rabbit hole of listening to her last album, Wallsocket, which I don't know if you guys have heard. I haven't listened to it in a couple years now, except for some songs here and there, obviously, but I haven't listened to it in full in a good while. So I went and I did that, and I was reminded of how much lore the album has. And one thing about me is I love an album with lore. I love a good concept album, so of course I did my scrolling and I found almost everything that I think that I can about this album, and I'm here to relay all that information to you guys. But before I do that, let me introduce myself. Hi! Welcome to my channel, nice to meet you. This is where I talk about music and music related things, so if that is something that you're into, subscribe and comment something funny so I can be entertained. Or don't comment, I don't know. Okay, so you might be asking me, headphone emoji, who the freak is underscores? Don't worry. Underscores, Miss April Harper Gray, is a pop music artist. Pop music. A little bit hyper pop. She has made songs with Gabby Start, she's made songs with Jane Remover, and she's like 25 years old, which is not that much older than me, which is so crazy because she's so talented. I love talented people. And in September of 2023, she came out with an album called Wallsocket, which is her second studio album. It's about a girl in a small town called Wallsocket, and that's what we're gonna get into today. So yeah. So the rollout of Wallsocket began on April of 2023, where she posted this like video sort of trailer.
What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What do you have? Where does your money come from? What allows you to exist? Where did you grow up? Who are you forgetting? What are you obsessing over? What community do you belong to? Are you ashamed? What's your circumstance? Do you wrap back around?
Okay, this is the part where I kind of have to read off my computer, so I'm sorry if we don't make eye contact. The trailer, she asks a lot of questions in it, right? She says, what are you thinking? What do you have? Where does your money come from? Who are you forgetting? And finally, do you wrap back around? Which is something that we see happen a lot in the themes of this album. There's a lot of repeated lyrics in it, which I personally really enjoy. I think it's cool. I love the emphasis of it. And in the visual for the first like Wallsocket teaser, it says, I gotta take the past year off where I stayed in a town called Wallsocket. Wallsocket is not a real town. Okay, let me just put that out there. If you want to go to Wallsocket, it doesn't exist. I'm sorry. Wallsocket is a concept. But according to underscores, Wallsocket is a super small town in Michigan where she stayed, and she was inspired by the people that she saw in Wallsocket. So basically, the album is about just all of the people that she observed in Wallsocket and the lives that they lived. So while Wallsocket is not a real place, it does have like city lore to it, if that makes sense. The most important one to our lore right now is called Waterworks Weekly, where it has like all of the updates of the town. It's kind of like a town social media. There's like a lot of newsletters and stuff on it. All the Wallsocket moms come and talk. There's a couple news articles up there which will be important later. There's a couple other like smaller websites. There's the Wallsocket Pizza website, there's the Oxbow Market website, and then most importantly there is the Secretariat Tech website, which we will get back to in a minute. So a little bit more about Wallsocket. There's a lot of world building that we need to get to. So on the town website. It states that Wallsocket is a small town which mainly is famous for its like horses, kind of. Like it's all centered around horses. Like the big thing is like this giant horseshoe that they have. They do horse breeding, horse racing, and horse transportation, which is where the company's secretariat comes in. They are a tech company that emerged in Wallsocket, kind of. Their headquarters is very close to Wallsocket, so all of their employees live in Wallsocket, and it's a tech company, but it's horse related, I guess, you know? So as all of these people who worked at Secretariat started to move into Wallsocket as a city begins to shift and change. Kind of gentrified. And Miss Underscore speaks on this directly. When the album came out, she says that Wallsocket is a loose concept of an American town. At the time of writing, she was really obsessed with the horseshoe theory, where lives can kind of just wrap back around, where our lives wrap back around and become almost an opposite, kind of like a 180. And so that is a theory that is riddled throughout the album, according to her. Speaking about theories, there are a couple theories in this album that we do have to talk about. The first is color theory. So when the album trailer dropped, the text is green, and so people were asking, is like the color, the theme of this album green? And Underscores was like, sorta. She said that she has a crazy image about the color theory for this era, but she just can't say it yet at the time. And now green, what does green symbolize? Green symbolizes life. Green symbolizes prosperity. Green symbolizes money. Green symbolizes greed. I personally think that it's leaning more towards the money and the greed aspect of this album. But of course, as we know, the cover art of the album is not green, it's blue. So what is up with that? Am I right? So Secretariat's website is actually blue. And I think that that's really interesting. I think that a lot of companies choose blue as a sense of like calmness or a sense of respect, kind of, because it is more of like a family friendly color. Like you can't see, but the walls of my bathroom are blue. But I do think that, as she said, this album's main color is green, so I think that's sort of like their internal, I don't know if that's the right word, but like showing their true colors. They're a greedy company, but they're trying to come off as being calm and nonchalant or whatever. Another theory is about Miss Underscore's character, because of course she plays a character in like the music videos, and of course there's like a overarching theme of certain characters in this album. Wallsocket is a pretty small town, right? And when it's a small town, everybody knows everyone. So of course they'd be like, who is the stranger that just pulled up to our town? And they refer to her as like a mysterious musician, I think. In an Instagram story asking this question, she responded saying that she wishes she was as outgoing to the strangers, but unfortunately she didn't really talk to them. They gave her some weird looks and some smiles. Basically saying that like while she's a character in this universe, she doesn't really play an active part in the town because she's kind of an outsider just looking at the town. There are a couple important characters that we have to talk about. The first one is Mr. Domingo. Joshua Domingo. We'll get to him in a minute, but what you need to know right now is he's a dad and he committed a bank robbery. So, second character is Sunny Domingo, who is Mr. Domingo's daughter. We see her in the Cops and Robbers music video, which is like probably one of the most important songs on the album when it comes to like visual lore. And then the other two characters who are kind of important are the old money bitch and then Mara Albright, who is staff for Waterworks Weekly. There's also a bunch of moms which talk on like the moms of Waterworks. You know, if you wanna stalk that, you can. I think it's really interesting, but I don't really think it has anything to do with like the album. Is more of world building. Possibly the most important song is Cops and Robbers, and more importantly, the Columbia Bank robbery. What was the Columbia Bank robbery, you might ask? Of course, don't worry, I got you. One of the moms of Wallsocket posted saying that there was a bank robbery, and so of course everyone is like, what the freak, what happened? And in this post, it has some screenshots of an article. She titles her post being like, urgent Columbia bank robbery, and she says, this is so horrific. Please tell me y'all saw this. The article itself says, we had no idea Domingo had been stealing. Days after Linda P. Romero met an untimely death, Domingo uncharacteristically nearly emptied her account, provoking Linda's son to call the branch manager on a Saturday afternoon, where Domingo was suspected to have fled that night as he failed to show up for work on Monday. The drama is getting intense here. Of course, this post alerted all the readers and all the people of Wallsocket that Joshua Domingo, who worked for the bank for over a decade, had been stealing from the bank, especially from the elderly people who lived in I keep on saying waterworks. I mean to say Wallsocket, which mainly what it talks about is this lady who died, Miss Linda Romero. Her checks were never received by her brother after her death, and then allegedly Domingo stole them and ran away. He's also like briefly seen in the trailer during the line, "Who are you forgetting?" So that's a reference to something. There's a connection there. Clearly, I'm not the most like tinfoil hat person, as we can tell. I don't really know what to make of all these connections, but they are connections nonetheless, and I do think it's important to mention them. I never said this was gonna be a fully fleshed out lore video. I just said we're gonna talk about it, man. It is worth noting that, like, technically, this isn't exactly robbery. It's more of like embezzlement, if anything. But I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just putting that out there. It's still bad. Like, it's still bad, but you know. After listening to Cops and Robberies, there is a lyric that says, "It all started when I didn't have enough to pay for the crystal," referring to a certain drug. It's like literally in the first lyrics where she says like, "I've been working as a bank teller," not she says, but like through the perspective of said bank teller, aka Domingo. So it is a possibility that he was just an addict trying to pay for the crystal. The next song, Locals, is one of my favorite songs. It has Gabby Start on it. And I think that it kind of takes the perspective of some of the other characters that we talk about. And one of those characters is Sunny. So it looks like the first verse of this song follows Mara. I'm gonna call her Mara. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know for a fact, okay? But it follows Mara. And it turns out that she's low-key a little bit obsessed with Sunny. She says that they're best friends since 2009. She just doesn't know about it yet. And then the second verse follows Sunny, as she says she's never done said questionnaire ever in her life. And then she references a 10-foot pole, which I mean, she's just saying like, "Stay away from me, girl, I don't know you." Overall, it's a very fun song. I think when it comes to lore, it really just introduces us to some of the characters, which is cool and necessary. The next song, Duh, with like 10 million H's, talks about Sunny again, and we go through kind of her mind and her life as she talks about being gender dysphoric, basically. The song has quite a lot of like religious references or references to God mainly. She says that it's all part of like God's plan, but the diagnosis of being like gender dysphoric is a lot for her to take in. She sees it as kind of like bait for her to stray away, but she says that she's fixing for a bite, so she's gonna take the bait, I guess. There's also like something that I've noticed a lot is there is the theme of just saying like good luck a lot throughout this album. I just think that that's really interesting. I don't know. I feel like it'll come up a lot later, especially with Good Luck Final Girl, but just something to keep in mind. There's honestly just a lot of like religious references in the song, which I don't know too much about, so I can't really speak on it with too much nuance, but it's there. And I'm sure that somebody else can look into it more than I can. The next song, You Don't Even Know Who I Am, was the second single off of Wallsocket. And it kind of talks about this like parasocial relationship that she has with a fan. Kind of. That's what it talks about. I mean, like in the context of the album, it's more about like Mara stalking Sunny. But like we we all know the undertones. What happens throughout the song is Mara breaks into Sunny's house and tries to like live like Sunny or pretend to be Sunny. Dude, Mara is weird. She's like weird, bro. The main chorus of the song just keeps repeating like you don't even know who I am, which like I said, there's a lot of repeated lyrics and repeated like themes and motifs throughout this album, which I think is just really interesting. I really enjoy it when artists do that. I think it's cool. One of the lyrics that really stuck out to me that she says is, I think I'm in love with the cards you were dealt and how it felt. So, bro, she's like obsessed. Like, way obsessed. Basically, like the whole song is just about Mara pretending to be Sunny and being like, oh, I'm wearing Sunny's clothes, I'm wearing Sunny's makeup. The song Johnny, 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 bro, follows the character of Johnny, of course. Well, it talks about Johnny. Who is Johnny? He is a groomer. I don't know if I can say that word. I hope I can. And he grooms Sunny, of course. So this is a song that talks about their relationship, and it's kind of a weird relationship. Honestly, I don't want to get into it too much. Just because like I feel like you all know essentially what happens if a freshly 18 girl meets a way older guy. You guys know, right? I don't have to explain all that. I don't really have to get into this song too much. Just know that it's a thing that happens in Wallsocket. Sunny survives. She escapes him. Don't worry, it's fine. The next song though is really interesting to me. Shoot to kill your darling. I don't know if I could say these words. This song is about old money bitch. OMB. So the song is about her losing her close friend, someone who she was very attached to. In the outro especially, there's a lot of repetition in the lyric, I just don't want you to die, which this song low-key gets me emotional. Like to talk about it, to listen to it, all of that. It seems as though her friend went to the military. From what I understand, they enlisted in the military and that's how they died. She talks a lot about ROTC kids. And then in the chorus, she says, are you dying to kill a man? Is it gonna keep you alive? So I believe their friend is someone who enlisted in the military and then that's how they died. She says in the chorus again, you're just a little kid, you shouldn't have had to choose how you die. Which is sad. Like, this is a really sad song, if I'm being honest. But it's really, like, empathetic. I don't know if that's the right word, but it is a good song, I'll say that. Horror movie soundtrack, on the other hand, is very different. It's kind of like the other side of the previous song. It's again about old money bitch, and she's kind of trying to convince herself to die, if that makes sense. If you guys know what I'm trying to say, she says aim for your head and go with your gut. So you know, it's a rather short song. There's not really too much to say. She's just a very sad individual after the events of losing her friend. The outro of this song has a repeated lyric of you won't get away with this, like over and over and over again. And I think that's referring to like her referring to herself, saying you won't get away with this, because I think as much as she wants to die, I don't think that she can really go through with it, if that makes sense. And so that's why she's like, you won't get away with this. Like, she's talking to herself a lot. And so of course that brings us to the next song, which is called Old Money Bit. This song mainly follows Mara, which, oh my god, I don't like Mara's character like at all. But it talks about Mara and how she doesn't like the other girl because she thinks that she's like snobby and snooty or whatever because she has money. But she has no clue what this girl is going through. Like, she doesn't know anything, not even the half of it. She says things like, she's not you or me, she's the enemy, she's a student athlete, but she's never played a sport. Which is like, why are you judging so hard? This Mara girl, she is stalking everyone. Girl, get a job, get a life. Like, but I really like the chorus because it's like, She's the daughter of a billionaire. It's just fun to sing. And then, like, of course, this girl is trying to explain to Mara that, like, no, I have problems just like everyone else. Of course, like, she doesn't have, like, financial problems, but she still got problems in her life. But this Mara girl is so, like, close-minded. She's like, no, you're rich. You don't have any problems. And it's like, girl, I just tried to kill myself. I don't know, man. I really don't like Mara. As we can see with the next song, Jeez Louise. Actually, the song kind of brings us all the way back to Sunny, and it talks a little bit more about God again. Sunny is kind of coming to this realization that everyone is kind of like everyone. Like, there's this one lyric that's repeated which says, he's like me, she's like me, they're like me, damn it. So she's kind of coming to this realization that, like, maybe not everyone is so different despite, like, all of the circumstances. Like, we're all just people on earth. That's low-key what the song is. That's low-key all the song is, really. She's kind of coming to the terms with her, like, transgender identity, and then coming to the terms with, like, that and religion at the same time. These are two things that I can't really relate to, so I don't have too much to say about it, unfortunately. Just not something I've experienced. It's still a good song. There's a little bit about that. There's a little bit about racial identity in it, kind of. Mainly about being, like, a person of color who lives in a very white town. A little bit about gender identity, a little bit about religious identity. It's one of those kinds of songs. There's just, like, a lot of emotions about a lot of different things. I don't know if, like, heavy is the right word for it, but it's a very packed song. As we are now nearing the end of the album, the song 77 Dog Years brings us back to Mara and Sunny, and they have this sort of, like, conversation about Sunny's dad. And Sunny's dad was the guy who, like, robbed a bank. Apparently Mara hides in Sunny's trunk of her car, which is insane. Like, we need to, like, get rid of this girl. Why is she still living in this town? They need to, like, evict her or something. Get her out. Oh my god, she's actually insane. And the song is kind of just them, like, yelling at each other back and forth. Honestly, it's kind of Mara just being like, girl, get over yourself, like, a little bit of stalking never hurt nobody. And then Sunny is like, girl, you ruined my life. And it's like, whoa. Uncanny Long Arms is the song with Jane Remover, and it once again follows Mara as she wakes up with really long arms. It's kind of giving Franz Kafka, I Woke Up as a Bug, but she just has long arms. So the song begins as Mara wakes up and she's like, damn, my arms are long as hell, what the heck? And of course, this could be a metaphor. This is probably a metaphor as how Mara has kind of crossed boundaries with Sunny now, and so she can reach different places with her metaphorically long arms. Though I believe her arms are physically long in this song. I don't know. Mara has, like, talked to Sunny instead of just stalking her from afar. She can, like, reach Sunny. She goes, I had a terrible feeling that I could touch you from over here. And so I believe that this is, like, metaphorically long arms. Like, Mara and Sunny have, like, interacted. It's this brand new boundary that's been broken now. And so anyways, Mara goes in to get her arms reduced. And I believe she dies. What I think happens is she goes to Secretariat, which is the tech company, right? And she gets her arms reduced. Because I guess they do, like, medical tech or whatever? I don't know. But she freaking dies, and then she gets resuscitated. And she says in the lyrics, she says she was exiled from the heavens and flung toward the ground. I once had peace and quiet, but now I can't turn the damn thing off. And the lyrics, like, not the lyrics, but the song itself, when you listen to it, is absolutely insane. I don't know, the concept of this song is so crazy to me. Like, I just love it. The last official song on this album, Good Luck Final Girl. Good Luck Final Girl, like the final girl from a horror movie. Bringing us back to the horror movie soundtrack. It's all connected. I love it. So I think that Mara just has this sort of like obsession problem. So she was obsessed with Sunny. And then at the beginning of the song, she says that she was like, she brought some stranger like some breakfast and then he left. And then she searched the whole gas station to find him. Like, girl, get over yourself. Calm down. Sit down. Like, damn. But so basically, the song is each of the girls giving a farewell to the people of Wallsocket and us as listeners. That's honestly really the song is. It's just kind of a goodbye, but not really goodbye because there's a deluxe. I'll get into the deluxe, but not really because this video is already long enough as it is. The first song, My Guy Corporate Shuffle, kind of just talks more about the robbery, embezzlement, whatever you want to call it. It was originally kind of like deleted audio from the Wallsocket Pizza website, so that's cool, I guess. Each of the songs are kind of about like different characters who I didn't really talk about in this video, but they're not like super duper lore heavy, but it does give more insight into just like the town of Wallsocket. In all honesty, I am kind of confused about who these songs are about. Like, I really don't understand it. I tried to, guys. I really did. And I think my brain is a little too small for it. My favorite song on the deluxe is Stupid Girl, though. Or what's it called? Stupid Can't Run from the Urge. It's like the very, 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 very last song. So it's more of like an epilogue to the story, if anything. It talks about Sunny, I think, as I believe she's returning home to Wallsocket after like a couple years. She says you can take the girl out of this town, but you can't take the town out of the girl. So I think it is just referring to her coming home. But yeah, so that is the entirety of Wallsocket and the deluxe. And this recording is an hour long. I'm really scared. I hope that was somewhat informative in some capacity. I hope you learned something new today. I hope you found a new appreciation for this album. I hope you choose to listen to this album. I hope you made it this far into the video, honestly, because I don't know how long it'll actually end up being. But yeah, first video I've made in a while because my last one was the interview, so that doesn't really count as a video in my eyes. But oh, thanks for all the love on the interview, by the way. I grew up a lot of subscribers from that and a lot of views, and I'm honestly terrified, which is why it took me like so long to finally make this video because expectations scare me. Yeah, I'm not gonna dwell too much on this outro. I don't really have too much to say. Please give me more video ideas. Bye!